G'day, Shane here from Lonely Grape TV, and thanks for joining me here again in my home bar. And more importantly, thanks for helping me spread the word of McLaren Vale wines to the world. As usual, 2 wines today. The first one a little bit different because I normally open a wine in front of you or have it open and not tasted it before. But I tried this wine last night and it was so good I just couldn't not show this today on the video. So it's a Coriole Semillon. For those readers of my blog and also watchers of Lonely Grape TV, I really do like Coriole wines. This particular wine is a 05. The 05 down the bottom here. Now, the 05, I got this wine at a sale during the year, and you sort of get the feeling that it's on its last legs and they were trying to oomph it out of their cellars and make room for some new wine. But last night I had some chicken, opened this and it was just a beauty, so I thought I'd try it with you again. So it's been open since last night, it's been vacuumed, but let's just see how it comes up. So let's go straight into the wanky thing. Now I had this in the fridge overnight, but it's been sitting out here for about an hour, waiting to cool down a little bit so it's not too cold. And it's just as I remember it, the nose. There's that kerosene, agey sort of feel. You might normally expect that to get that with Rieslings. But you can tell from the nose straight up that this wine's got some age to it. There's also a citrus element to it, but it's not the normal citrus, it's more peel, and I think that's got to do with those age characteristics sitting there underlying with the whole aromas of this particular wine. Now it's not the normal citrus zest per se, it's more like the white part of the citrus peel. It's got that real strong, almost tardiness, if you like, aroma coming through there. So let's try it. Oh, I do enjoy that wine. Do enjoy that wine immensely. The citrusy characters come through again, but it is more along the lines of straight lemon juices, a little bit of lime just on the end, so there's plenty of acid in there. It's a lively wine, there's lots of acid in there. It doesn't really look like a 5-year-old white at all once you get it on the palate, and unlike the nose, there's not that much of that developed kerosene type character, which is a bit of a surprise. Remember I mentioned the white part of the lemon on the nose that was coming through the lemon rind. Now it is more zesty, more fresh, like I said, plenty of acid. Now McLaren Vale's not known for its whites really. And let's face it, there are a number of whites produced here that probably a lot of people would say why. But Coriole has been making Semillon now for a lot of years. I remember going to Coriole in the 80s, drinking the Semillon, thinking, this is a damn good wine. And I'd have to say, this is the first time I've had a wine that's been aged a bit, and very, very enjoyable wine. So the 05. And what that tells me is if you can get some Coriole Semillon and you don't drink it straight away, you put it in your wine cellar and then go, oh no, I've found it, oh, is it going to be any good? Give it a whirl, because based on this, it's going to be very, very good. Now the second one I have today, there's an interesting story to it, but it's the Charlatan 2008 Sangiovese. The interesting story is it's amazing who you meet and who you find as you're wandering around McLaren Vale. I went to a cellar door, and these guys don't have a cellar door at all. and was talking to the guy pouring the wine on the opposite side of the counter. And next minute I find out that he's a small-time winemaker, produced wine in the old Redhead studio, so I don't know where he's going to be making the wine now with Redhead's shutting down. And he says, you've got to try my Sangiovese. So I got a couple of bottles, and this is going to be my first try. Let's do the wanky thing. So this wine's been sitting open for about an hour, so I'm looking forward to this. Straight off the bat, cherries, dark cherries. Very, very nice dark cherries. There's a little earthiness, but it's not the overpowering earthiness that you get from a lot of Sangioveses. And there's almost a meaty characteristic right at the end of the nose. Not the end of my nose, but the end of the nose in smelling here. The aromas are excellent. So let's try it. I do like that. I really do like that. That cherry component comes through again on the palate. This time there's a mixture of those dark cherries with all that sour cherry, a little bit of that sour cherry coming through. There's that earthiness that I get from a lot of Sangioveses is really just slightly there at all, if at all. There's really good acid. The tannins, they're softer tannins. They're not really, big, huge, overarching tannins that would totally wipe out the fruit. And you really only get the taste of the tannins really on the back half of the palate. I'm going to try this again. And those tannins really drying at the end of the palate. So it starts with these nice juicy cherries, just a real fraction of earthiness in the middle, and those lovely tannins to finish off with that sourness that you have in the palate, and quite dry finish. Now I forgot to mention food with the Coriole Semillon. Had it with chicken last night, but I reckon some baked snapper, lovely baked snapper, would go an absolute treat with this. You know, the ones where there's some herbs, some cut up lemons and limes actually in the hollow bit, middle bit of the baked salmon, or sorry, snapper, and that would just work a treat. With this one, I'm actually I know I say it a lot with red meats and things, but I'm actually having steak tonight, and I'm going to try this out with a lovely Witchwood Meats T-bone steak. But if you weren't going there, because of it's not the biggest red wine you've ever had, but there's some nice body, there's some nice acid through there. So maybe some pork steaks with a nice compilation mixture of onions, say red onions, capsicums and tomatoes, with a little bit of vina cotta, just to add that little bit of acid through there. Reduce that down so it's almost caramelised, and put that on top of the pork steaks. Would go a treat with that. Actually, after saying that, it's almost a pity that I'm not going to have that tonight. So that's all we have time for from Wine and Grape TV today. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.